Hey guys, so today I'm doing a Chinese dim sum recipe that I did not think was possible weeks ago, and that is Chinese phoenix claws, or basically chicken feet that you guys see at the dim sum. They're usually marinated in something that's like spicy and sweet and kind of soy saucy, and it's amazing. And I think I found the perfect substitute. There are these fried tofu sheets that really mimic the texture of the fried chicken feet as well, and they absorb the sauce and the flavor so well. So I can't wait to show you guys this recipe, so let's head over to the kitchen and then let's get started. Okay guys, so we're gonna start off with one package of these tofu skins. Now you can find them in the tofu section of your Asian supermarket, but you can see that they're actually pre-fried. They come in kind of small layers like this, and they really mimic the texture of the chicken feet really well. So I'm just gonna start off by cutting them into strips just because chicken claws are kind of like strips. So then they end up like this. So afterwards you just wanna set them aside, and then you wanna prepare kind of like a little braising, brining liquid. So I have 4 cups of water, and then I have some aromatics there. So that was kind of like a slice of ginger. I'm going to put in about 2 to 3 of the star anise, and this gives like a sweet fragrantness to the tofu when you start brining it. If you guys have ever had kind of Hainanese chicken or kind of the salted chicken, and there's that really like perfumed kind of fragrance in the background, this is going to be it. So usually I'll end up using parsley root for this, but I don't really have it, so just a couple stems of parsley go in, and this is going to really perfume your tofu really well. So basically all of that goes in. I'm gonna bring this mixture up to a boil, and then once it reaches a boil, I'm gonna turn the heat down to kind of like a rolling simmer, so still a pretty good heat, and then I'm gonna cook it for an hour. And what that's going to do, again, it's gonna perfume everything, but also because the tofu skins have been fried, they are actually quite oily, and this process gets rid of a lot of the oil as well. So during that time, you want to start preparing this uber delicious marinade that they typically use for the chicken feet. So I'm going to start off with this vegetarian stir-fry sauce, which is basically my oyster sauce, and I'm going to just eyeball about 2 tablespoons of that. And again, you guys want to kind of taste as you go, making sure that you like what you're tasting. So about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic go in, followed by 2 tablespoons of this double fermented soy sauce. Now this I debuted on one of my, I think, my Chinese grocery store hauls, and I thought because it was doubly fermented, it'd be like a little bit too salty, or maybe the flavor was too rich, but this is actually a really good soy sauce as well. It's very well-rounded and it's very balanced, so I definitely recommend that. And then to that I have 1 tablespoon of demerara sugar, and then these guys are seasoned black beans. I think I used them in my black bean spare rib recipe before, but they are usually marinated in like star anise and ginger and orange peel, so they're super fragrant. I rinse them out a little bit just because they can get a little bit salty, but you want to put in about 1.5 tablespoons, and that goes in. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of sake, or you can also use rice wine as well. And then I'm going to put in about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, or you can use potato starch as well. And this is when it starts cooking up, the sauce will become like nice and thick and glossy. A 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. I know that there's a lot, but this sauce is super good. And then finally 1 tablespoon of this black bean garlic sauce. So you guys could probably make it as well, but this is going to be a lot more convenient. So about a tablespoon goes in, and it's just going to provide like a nice kind of like sweet, also a very fragrant backdrop to this sauce. I'm gonna add in like a 1/4 of a green chili that I de-seeded and everything. I don't really like it too spicy, but I do think it really adds to this dish. And then finally, just like a little bit, I would say like maybe like a 1/2 teaspoon of sesame oil go in. You don't want it to be too pungent or overpowering, so just kind of mix that around. I'm gonna mix it with tongs because I'm going to use the tongs to grab my tofu later as well, and that will save on the dishes. So this has been about an hour, and it's really nice because a lot of the oil has kind of boiled out of the tofu as well, and this is just a super fragrant mixture. It's very like gentle, but it's really good. So basically you want to turn off the heat, and you can either pour it into the sink, or I'm just going to do it through a strainer. And also what I'm going to do afterwards is really press out that liquid, because tofu, it really likes to absorb everything, and if it has too much water content in it, it's not going to really absorb any of the sauce's flavor. So you want to kind of do a really good job of getting out all of the liquid, and then maybe even letting it stand for about 10 minutes just to make sure that it's all nice and dry before you put it into the marinade. So I'm just tossing that around right now. I know for a typical classic chicken recipe, chicken feet recipe, it actually has you marinate this for about 3 hours, but because tofu absorbs flavor just so well, I would recommend just about like an hour or two. So I found this really small steamer basket, which is why I'm using the world's smallest little dish to put it in as well. Just a little bit of a tip is if your tofu ends up absorbing too much of the marinade and there's not like a little bit of liquid on the bottom, add probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water on the bottom because you do want like a nice sauce to go underneath this as well. So I'm just gonna put it into the steamer basket, and I already have some water on about medium-high heat. So you want it to be ready to go before you put it in, and I would recommend probably cooking this for about 15 to 20 minutes actually. I mean, everything is cooked, but you do want the potato starch to cook off and to start thickening as well. It is just so fragrant after it's done steaming. I mean, everything, like the flavor is on point on this. The sauce for the chicken feet, it's really just so complex because it's kind of like sweet, it's salty, it's also spicy, and it has all of the fragrance from the poaching liquid like the ginger and the star anise. So it's very complex and it's very well-rounded and really just such an amazing sauce. This recipe turned out so much better than I thought it would, and it's just like the fried tofu skin mimics the chicken skin so well because they're both fried, and the tofu picks up the flavor so well. Like, I don't think you can tell the difference because the sauce is just so amazing. I mean, other than for the fact that it is not chicken feet. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this meatless interpretation of the Chinese phoenix claw dish. I honestly say it is so much better because you don't have to clean up like the chicken feet or anything, and the sauce is just so good. So I hope you guys try making it. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, and I hope that you do, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, okay? And then I will see you guys again next time. Bye!